It's nice to speak with you today, Martin. I'm looking forward today to hearing your views on dynamic performance assessment. Before we start, can you first provide a brief background of yourself?
Okay, Dustin. Well, thank you very much for the opportunity to have this interview. Yes, I'm Martin Robinson. I used to work for Nestlé in Vevey and around Europe. Left them in 2010 because I was captivated by the idea that we could find much greater efficiency in logistics and transport. And so I'd come across a couple of branches of mathematics while I'd worked with them. And so since then I've been working on that, and I'm founder of a company called Transfaction that provides dynamic performance intelligence solutions. And I'd like to talk to you today about something that we've developed, which is a dynamic performance appraisal tool.
Oh, that's interesting. Can you tell us, so what is a dynamic performance appraisal?
Well, basically what it does is it's an online tool that we can take data from clients, so they upload to us their departures and arrival data, and from that we're able to give them a couple of things. First of all, we're able to give them a top-down view of their performance and tell them what the size of the gap is on their total landed costs. So compared to what they actually plan to do, what do they really do, and what was the size of that gap. And the second step is that we're able to give them a good steer into where they are likely to find improved performance. So if I give you an example from very recently, we took some data for a UK retailer, and we ran 2 reports for them, and noticed a big difference between the first and second report in terms of the one I could think of immediately was on transit. We saw a big improvement in transit times, and pointed that back to the client, and they said, well, that's interesting because we just recently changed our scheduling so that we're not transiting through a very busy, congested area at rush hour time. And so we're able to give them that feedback loop so they can see what actions are working, what actions are not working, and gradually improve their performance. And what makes it distinctive, I think, is that the feedback is dynamic. It's very quick. As quickly as the data is loaded, the feedback is given, unlike traditional consultancy where you may spend several weeks preparing the data, then analysing the data and then feeding back, and so a report could take 6 weeks. The report back is virtually instantaneous.
Well, some would say that...
I think it's going to make a big difference. Mark. Sorry.
Some say that supply chains and logistics and transport is too complex to model. So how do you respond to this?
Well, certainly it's absolutely true that supply chains are very complex. But, to be honest, I think too many people are hiding behind that, and I'm really not taking account of modern technology that's available. And so I think that point of view needs to be reevaluated. We've developed over the last number of years clever techniques for detailing the way one looks at the supply chain, and then sort of, as it were, building up, layering back up so as to create the kind of complete view. So yes, supply chains are complex, but technology has moved on a long way, and with the technology that we're developing, we think that we're able to see through big data into what is really happening in that supply chain. So now's the time to start reevaluating that approach. I think we can get a lot closer to the approach of the factories manufacturing have run with for very many years, where they've had a kind of micrometer on their production lines. I think we can start to develop the same sort of approach to the way we run supply chains.
So, the supply chain and logistics industry is conservative and, generally speaking, traditional. What response are you getting?
Well, you know what, you're absolutely right. And I'm finding initially when I go to speak with somebody, people's initial response is, that's interesting, but I don't see how it applies to us, maybe to somebody else. But typically, by the end of a 45-minute conversation, believe me, I'm no great salesman, but by the end of a 45-minute conversation, people are saying, you know what, let's give you some data. Let's see how that works for us. The beauty of our solution is that we're doing analysis. How a client can deploy that in their own setting is for them to choose. So by the end of the conversation, most companies I'm speaking with are seeing how they can apply it in their own particular circumstance. So yes, the approach is traditional initially, but I think people are fairly easily persuaded once they see the power of what's possible.
Thanks, Martin, for sharing this game changer about dynamic performance assessment. And if anyone has any questions, how can they reach you?
Well, they can email me, martin.robinson@transfaction.com. And they can also phone if they like. I'm on a UK number, 7736 235 944.
Great, thank you.
Thanks, Dustin. Thanks very much for the opportunity.